Well, hi, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. Yes, I'm home, but not alone. Yes, we made it back yesterday from Mesa. Hi, Julia. Yes, we were in your area for quite some time, but so much fun with the grandkids. It was just really wonderful. But tell you this much, you guys, coming home and getting off a plane that it was completely fogged in Seattle. Luckily, we were able to land, which some of the ones that came in after us didn't. And it was about 34 degrees. Yeah. It was nearly 50 degrees difference in temperature from where we left to when we got home. And then we were at the airport. We went to a hotel, stayed overnight because we got in kind of late. And then Bob had to be in Seattle the next day. And I tell you, that was an adjustment to get after having been down there for 10 days. Whew. Yay. I was, Guess no point in putting them up again. No, I'm going to show them on Sunday because I want to show those. Um, I want to show them when I'm a little more coherent, first off, and and because with the story, it was. I think I love the details that you sent on this, so we'll show them on Sunday with some of that. That would be great. Um, I changed to Blue Sky, and there are a ton of people shouting out libraries and librarians and books. Yeah, we flipped to Bob flipped Blue Sky has quite some time ago, and he flipped mine over. One of the things it was interesting about what you needed to do to dump your Twitter account and not have them have access to everything. I cut it at first, just stopped, and then actually had to reopen it, and then go back in and delete all my information and a lot of my posts and stuff like that, so that they didn't have access to that, which is what the whole thing was all about. Um, I want to. I want to. It's 20 here at the moment. 21 degrees. Woohoo, that's chilly. Yeah. So, we made it back yesterday, picked up Aldo, got him home. He's doing great. Then he's had this little keratin like cyst that he's had a little lump on his neck for years, years and years and years. Well, it decided to rupture last night. So it was like I was like playing like Dr. Pimple Popper kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Um, but Bob took him to the vet today and they took care of it, got all the sack out of it, got it all cleaned up, and he's perfectly fine. He's got a bone and he's happy and got a few things done today. Had to run into Gig Harbor to get some stuff done. Um, but yeah, I'm glad to be here. I've only got one story tonight. It's pretty cool. But I also have a bit of a headache. So sorry about that. I've been battling it all day. I think it was from changing, that degree and coming back here and just everything, you know. I think I'll decompress and I'll be fine. Probably by tomorrow, but after I get a little bit of extra sleep too. Oh my gosh, but I did have a wonderful time with the grandkids. It was just delightful spending time with Layla and Lachlan. And Layla had a great time being on the show with us. Hopefully, I'll get to spend time with McLean and Rook and Rory soon, but maybe closer to Christmas. And anyway, can't remember to get back in. I set it up with fake info, so no worries. Oh, good. Good. Yeah. Uh, so that's what I scheduled my female dog to have lipoma removed and her teeth cleaning in the new year. Yeah, Aldo has a bunch of, he's got some stuff he has to do. No matter how much we feed him Dentabones, he still has some pretty bad plaque buildup on his teeth, but oh well. Oh well. But he seems to be fine. The doctor was fine with it about it. So anyway, you guys, we're back and had a great trip. And it was delightful to be down there. It was so much fun to have all the family together. Um, and yeah, so, but Aldo was very relieved to have us home. He was just about jumping out of the fence at Haley's at our dog sitters, and but then he wasn't quite sure. He was shaking almost all the way home, like, "Are we really going home?" And then usually he at the like up at the top of the road, he starts to get all excited about coming home. Literally, we were a couple miles away. And he started to go like, "Whoa, we're going home." So, and anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Aldo's kind of got started to get a little bit bigger and I hadn't, and I guess his collar must have rubbed on it. So that's what caused it um to rupture. And it was literally one of those, oh, what is that smell type things you notice. Thank you, Tamara. I appreciate the healing energy coming this way. It's been yeah, kind of a day with trying to battle this thick head. Yeah, thick head, but that's okay. It could simply be from traveling and being on the plane and all that kind of stuff and back and forth. And I'm sure I'll kick it. But for now, what's going on? Oh, I have wires and stuff. All right. So tonight I have one story, and last month was Native American Heritage Month. And I didn't get a chance to really find or read too many things in that genre. And I always kind of try to like to honor that. I found one book, and it doesn't fit with the date or anything, but I found a book and I had to wait for it. I had to put on hold and wait and stuff. So that's probably why it wasn't available during that month. But I thought it was really interesting. And if you might have seen in the news not too long ago that the last Navajo code breaker, um, code warrior, passed away at 107. So I thought, oh, I wonder if there's any kids' books out there that talk about that part of US history and what the impact that those code breakers and code makers, code warriors had for us, the Navajos that started that, and what's the history behind it and what the background to it. Come to find out, there's not a lot out there in Dun and Kids books, and because it was kept classified up until quite, at a certain time in the I think it was 19 I think I read it was 1974 before it became declassified. And so until the people that were actually those code warriors could even talk about it. So code talker, yes, code talker. Um, thank you, Linda. And so I thought this was really interesting. And so I found a book and let me see if I can get up to who it is. There we go. Here. So it is written by ba, ba, ba. Here we need me here too. There we go. It's written by Josph Bruchac. Josph Bruchac. He was raised in the Adirondack foothills town of Greenfield Center by the maternal grandparents. He's the founder of the Greenfield Review, published over 150 multicultural books and anthologies of contemporary poetry and fiction, giving voice to the otherwise voiceless and marginalized, including Words from the Hoe, and more. Show more. Words from the House of the Dead, an anthology of prison writings from Soledad, Breaking Silence, Asian American authors, and Returning the Gift. Anyway, he is also known for, he's a poet, 22 to 25 poet laureate of Saratoga Springs in New York, an ambassador for poetry. Poet laureate is expected to promote citizens' awareness of poetry as well as heighten appreciation of the art. He's a prolific poet and author and has over 180 books published in published, and in 1971, his first book of poetry entitled Indian Mountain and Other Poems was published. Um, so he went on, and then he earned a BA from Cornell, his master's from Syracuse, and his PhD in comparative literature from the Union Institute. Proud citizen of the Nulhegan Band of Kusuk Abenaki Nation, and his indigenous ancestries inspired him to study deeply and write about important aspects of indigenous traditions, peoples, and experiences in America. So I thought that his, the fact that his background is such that it was really amazing that this was the book that he wrote. Now, the illustrator for it, I'm so glad. Her name is, hold it, Luna Villa here. No, that's not her name. That's her website. But I wanted to show you some of the things. So this book down here that's showing called Fatty Legs, that's a true story. It's a chapter book that was a Newbery honor book. It's about Inuit children, a true story of what happened when they were sent to schools. Um, and A Stranger at Home, I just saw it's a chapter book too. I haven't seen these other ones. Miracle, I tried to find. I would love to read that one. Um, and this is the one, Chester Nez and the Unbreakable Code. Her name is Liz Amini Holmes. Let's see. She was born and raised in the San Francisco Bay Area, wanted to be an archaeologist, a paranormal researcher, an astronaut, but most of all wanted to be a detective with Scotland Yard. However, decided to work as an artist. Was way more fun than any of those jobs and required a lot less math. She has a BFA in illustration from the Academy of Art University and the University of San Francisco. Award-winning artist, and work ranges from poster design, book illustration, all through things. Her paintings and prints have been exhibited and sold at various galleries. So she's a member of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And throughout the year, she teaches private art classes and workshops for all ages. Her specialty is helping artists find their unique visual voice. Oh, I love that. Able to work with children and adults who benefit from art therapy. I always wondered about going into art therapy. It's always been kind of a thing. And so it is really, in her spare time, she reads lots of books and at once, write fiction, cook up new recipes, and get into mischief with her two boys. Some of her illustrations here, you can see, they are, let's see, like this one here. Yeah. Oh, I remember that illustration when they redid that version of Scarlet Letter. Look at that. Look at her illustrations are just something. So this is the book that I have for us today, and it is called Chester Nez and the Unbreakable Code, a Navajo code talker's story. You've got the talent, you just need, yay. See, Tamara, I think what really would be cool is if you took like copies and had copies, prints made and put them into a notebook or portfolio and made multiple copies and just sent them to some of the publishers in Australia. I really think that you should do that. Send to some of the publishers and publishing houses with a cover letter and have ChatGPT help you write a cover letter. If you want some help doing that, I'll help you do that. And it would be so cool to have you send those in and see what happens. Who knows? You never know. Anyway, let's get to the story. Yeah, we need to get her discovered. Chester Nez and the Unbreakable Code, a Navajo code talker's story. One of the things I like about this book is kind of the format is a little different, and it is really respectful culturally, I think. And the illustrations are just fabulous. Let's see. I was trying to see if it says how they were done. Doesn't say. Okay. The acknowledgments are thanks to the Navajo friends and fellow writers such as Nia Francisco, Laura Tahoe, Rex Lee, Jim Lucy, Tampanso, Shanto Vega, and Harry Walters, who have over years helped me gain some understanding of the complex and inspiring culture and history of the Dana people. I know that they no longer use the word Navajo. It's the Dene, I think. I could be wrong. Thanks to the Navajo Code Talkers Association and the Code Talkers I've met, in particular, several of them, and all this, just the acknowledgments of them. It's really, and Judith Avalia, who's so generously advising us on this book and for having helped Chester Nez tell his story in Code Talker, the first and only memoir of one of the original Navajo code talkers of World War II. So this gentleman, Chester Nez, wrote his own autobiography with the help of Judith Avila, and it is the story of that time. October 29th, month of small wind. When Betoli was 8 years old, the time came for him to go to boarding school. He had to leave his family, his home, and the goats and sheep he loved and took care of. He climbed into the back of a missionary's truck. "You need an English name," the missionary said. Betoli's name was Navajo, like he was. "You will be Chester," the man said. At Fort Defiance School, the matrons shaved off Chester's long hair and gave him a blue uniform to wear. They made him use English, a language he had never spoken. And when Chester spoke Navajo, the matrons washed his mouth out with yellow soap. "Navajo is bad. Speak only English." Many years earlier, in the 1860s, the U.S. Army had held Navajos captive at Fort Defiance. From there, the Army forced the Navajos to go on the Long Walk, a journey of 300 miles into what is now New Mexico. Many people suffered and died. Fort Defiance was now a boarding school for Navajo children, but some of the younger students had bad dreams because of the fort's history. Chester did his best to calm their fears at night. He reminded them they were not alone. They still had families back home. June 1932, month of big planting. Over the summer, Chester returned home, where he could again speak the sacred language of the holy people, speak the language the holy people had given the Navajos long ago. When he cared for the sheep and the goats and prayed using corn pollen, he felt like a real Navajo living the right way. His heart was strong again. Being home took away his loneliness, Chester that he felt at school. September 1932, month of half. Chester returned to school, where he was again told his Navajo language was worthless. "You must use only English to survive in the white man's world," the matron said. Chester knew he might need to live in the white man's world one day. In that world, speaking English was essential, so he worked hard and did well. Chester enjoyed learning and wanted to prove his worth. He also learned to pray Catholic way and served as an altar boy. The Catholic way was good, but so was the Navajo way. Though he spoke English in school, Chester kept his love for his Navajo people and their language. He decided to never break the ties that bound him to them. December 1941, month of crusted snow. Chester was in 10th grade when the school principal called the students together. "The Japanese Empire attacked us at Pearl Harbor," he said. "We are at war." The United States had fought the Navajos years ago, but now the United States was their country too. Chester thought about how his ancestors stood up against enemies. He should act the same with the same courage. Protecting his homeland was an honor. "I am a warrior," Chester said to himself. "I will fight for this land." April 1942, month of big plant. Recruiters from the U.S. Marine Corps came to the reservation. "We need Navajo men who speak English and Navajo," they said. The U.S. military needed a new way to send its secret messages. The messages were sent in code over the radio, but since anyone's radio could receive those messages, the enemy could hear them too. The Japanese had broken the American code. The Marines tried using a coding machine, the shackle, to create an unbreakable code, but the machine took too long to encode and decode messages. Then a former Army soldier, a missionary's son who had once lived on the Navajo reservation, suggested using Navajo, a language almost impossible for non-Navajos to speak. The Marines agreed to try it. Many Navajos volunteered to join the Marines, but only 29 were chosen, including Chester. They became Platoon 382. Suddenly, the language he'd been told to forget was important. Chester was proud he had never given up speaking Navajo. June 1942, month of big planting. After basic training, Platoon 382 went to Camp Elliott near San Diego. An officer took the platoon into a room. "Create an unbreakable code," he told them. "Start by choosing one word for every letter of the English alphabet." Then the officer left, locking the 29 men in that room. Chester wondered how they would begin. Then one of the men, Gene Crawford, spoke up. He knew how military codes worked. "Make every word clear and different from every other," he said to the others. They used English words for each letter of the alphabet. A was ant, B was bear, C was cat. Then they chose the Navajo words for each of those English words. Ant was wolachi, bear was shush, cat was moasi. By the end of the first day, they had the whole alphabet. A few weeks later, 3 more Navajo men joined the team. Now, 32 soldiers were creating the code and learning to use it. Instead of spelling out some items of the English alphabet, they chose Navajo words to represent them. Battleship became lo-sho, that means whale. Bombs were ayishi, or eggs. There was a lot to remember, but Chester enjoyed what they were doing and had an excellent memory. September 1942, month of half. After 13 weeks, Platoon 382 demonstrated their code to Marine officials. Expert code breakers could not break it. The code was strong. The code was efficient, too. The shackle code machines took 4 hours to encrypt and decrypt a message. Navajos could send and receive in less than 3 minutes. The Navajo language solved the Marines' communication problems. The military ordered the platoon to keep the code a secret. Only commanders, and officers knew about the Navajo Code. 2 men stayed behind to teach new Navajo recruits while Chester and the rest of the code talkers shipped out to the Pacific. The time had come to use the code in battle. When the boat reached the island of Guadalcanal, Chester and his partner, Roy Begay, waded ashore. They dug a foxhole in the sand, and then they were ready. When a runner handed them their first message, they radioed it to 2 code talkers on the ship offshore. Bena Ali Chosi, enemy. Aka Danohi Ato, machine gun nest. Nish Naji Goda Dikad, on your right flank. Adil Tahi, destroy. Minutes after their message was received, artillery fire hit the machine gun nest. Chester shouted, "You see that?" Their Navajo code was working. Chester and the other code talkers sent messages on Guadalcanal for many months until the Japanese were defeated. Then they were sent to the other islands in the Pacific. The soldiers saw terrible things in combat. They dodged artillery fire, witnessed explosions, and watched men die. Chester was worn out and ill, but kept working. Every day he prayed in Navajo using corn pollen from his medicine bag. The Navajo way gave him strength and helped him survive until he could go home. January 1945, month of Small Eagle. Chester was finally home, but he'd seen too much death. He felt at times as if he were dead too. Chester could not tell anyone, not even his family, about the Navajo Code. It was still a secret. Keeping that secret brought back the loneliness that hurt so much when he first went to school. Chester's family knew he needed help. They arranged an enemy way, a 4-day-long ceremony to help someone exposed to the evil of war. This ceremony was also done for children returning from boarding school like Fort Defiance. Chester knew that being at school with its military structure and harsh discipline was similar to enduring war. The ceremony restored Chester to the trail of beauty and the right way. He no longer dreamed of war. September 1945, month of half. 8 months after Chester came home, the Japanese surrendered and the war was over. The Navajo Code had been vital to the war effort. Code talkers had served with every Marine unit. By the end of the war, more than 400 Navajos had served as code talkers. They had been told in school that their language was no good, but they had proven that wasn't true. The Navajo Code helped win World War II. Like his people who survived the long walk, Chester had never forgotten his Navajo heritage. Despite being told to give up his Navajo language and culture, he found ways to merge them with the white man's world. His spirit stayed unbroken. He kept his feet on the trail of beauty. Wow. The author's note. Chester Nez went on to serve statewide in the Korean War, from which he was discharged as a corporal. Chester also continued his schooling at the University of Kansas from 1946 to 1952, where he studied commercial art. He married, had children, and gained a reputation as an artist without telling anyone about his role as a code talker. Years passed, and still Chester and the other Navajo code talkers kept their secret. Finally, In 1968, the military decided that with the new technology, the Navajo code was no longer needed. The code was declassified, and their secret was released after 29 years. In 1982, President Ronald Reagan declared August 14th as National Code Talkers Day, and more people began to learn of their story. In December 2000, President Bill Clinton signed into law an act honoring the Code Talkers. The original 29 were given gold medals, and all the Code Talkers who followed were given silver medals. Chester appreciated being invited to the White House and being given those honors, but what he felt best about was that he had been able to live the right way as a Navajo, holding on to his language and traditions despite being told in school to give up his culture. Eventually, with the help of Judith Avia, Chester decided to tell his story. It was published in 2011 as the book Code Talker, the first and only memoir by one of the original Navajo code talkers of World War II. Chester was the last survivor of the 29 original Navajo recruits who created the Unbreakable Code. He passed away on June 4th of 2014 at the age of 93 at his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Chester's name and that of hundreds of other Navajo men who served as code talkers in World War II can be seen on the bricks of the Veterans Memorial in Window Rock, Arizona, in the heart of the enduring Navajo Nation. Oh my gosh, and there's the Navajo Code, a portion of the code from the Naval History and Heritage Command. Look at that. Let's see, May is small plant. Oh, wow. Just amazing. Amazing. And the timeline that he had. He was born in 1921. And he passed in 2014. All the different things that happened. So he attended the University of Kansas, discontinued study at the University of Kansas after his GI Bill ran out. Oh my goodness. He retires from working as a painter at the Raymond G. Murphy Veterans Affairs Medical Center. Interesting. And in 2000, I thought it said President Bill Clinton. In the book, it did. Original 29 Navajo Congressional Gold Medal of Honor from President George W. Bush. In the book, it said Clinton. Oh, here it was. Clinton signed the bill in 2000, and George W. Bush gave out the medals in 2001. Interesting. Oh, my goodness. Where are we? Hold on, where am I? There we go. There. Okay. So that I'm just closing these down here. Yay. And don't need to see two of me. No. Well, what did you guys think? Back and yes. Sad. It was courageous. Hey, Keisha, how are you? Oh my gosh, and Obs is here, you guys, too. One of my Keisha and I were on a call earlier, and there's my good friend Aubrey, Simply Obs. You guys, on Ob's channel, she does a morning motivational minute-ish every day. And she also does this thing at 9 o'clock my time, Pacific. So that's noon Eastern, and it's called Write With Me. And it's just an hour of time to write. So if you're into writing, and it's just like she sets, it's just a space to people get on YouTube, and you can go onto her channel. And it's just, I think she has, I don't even know if she has music playing, but it's just a writing time right with me. Very cool thing. Yay. Yay. There we go. Ah, I have not set up anything Christmas the right way. Sounds like it would have been good. It would have been good for PTSD. Exactly. I think it's real interesting that I think it'd be an interesting research thing to do to find all the different cultures, especially indigenous cultures, that have an element to them that is so grounded in mental health to bring you from that spot to another way, and how they do that. I think it's just pretty cool. Um, hey, I'm glad you liked it. I don't know if Lupe was here or not. Awesome book. Yay. Spent years playing in the snow in the Navajo Nation. Thank you, Greg. Oh, Fatima. Yeah, it is. It's really it's one of those books that I was like just fascinated, and I understand now why it wasn't in our history books, because it wasn't declassified till 1968. But still, to have it have there be so few things really written about it, man. Yeah, I found one picture book, one. And oh, there's 2, actually. There's another one. There's one. It was an audiobook called "Who Were the Code Talkers," and it's a "Who Were They" books, and they're kind of they're nonfiction, informational type of things. So I haven't had a chance to see that one, but it was an audiobook, and it didn't show me the entire. But to have so few out there and really have so little information out there, what I liked about this one was that it was written by someone of indigenous heritage, and the illustrations were done in a way that was very respectful and very tied into the Navajo Nation. I just think it's wonderful. Um, anyway, so hello to everything. Fatima's hello to everything. Um, And thank you, Aubrey. A nation living in Arizona. We are blessed. We are blessed. Hang on. I was just going to do something real quick if I can find it. Hang on. Bum bum. Um, there we go. Hang on. Hang on, you guys. I am. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me. Things are jumping up. So Keisha, Keisha does so many different things too, you guys. She has a decorating business, but she's a school principal. She's decorating for a Christmas party this weekend. Anybody else not get their Christmas stuff up yet? I am not, because of course I was just home yesterday, so that's one of the things. So here we go. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. And I'm trying to get this. This is what I was looking for. Copy. And here, you guys. Okay, I just posted in the chat. I put in Ob's channel. And there's, oh, you got Keisha's in there. Good. Yay. Thank you, Linda, for putting in Keisha. I have a really amazing moderators. Oh my gosh. You guys are so good. The fair at Window Rock is amazing. So Fatima, I'm gonna look that up, because I hadn't read this book until I was down in Arizona, and we couldn't schedule that type of thing. There's a couple different places I want to go. I really want to go to this Window Rock Museum in the Navajo Nation and see this. So the next time I'll be back down in Arizona in the end of January, but only for Layla's concert. Yes, you heard her play on Sunday. Yeah, she's 12. She's been playing viola for a year, and she made the district orchestra for Queen Creek School District. I mean, seriously? That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty darn cool. So I'm going down for her concert. But anyway, you guys, that's the deal. I'm only going to read the one story tonight because my head is kabong, 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 kabong. And I need to go drink more water and deals with why I've got kabonging head. But I wanted to be here tonight because I needed it. I needed my bucket filled from my bucket fillers. And you guys do that for me all the time. Um, and Hey, Shauna. Hey, hi, Shauna. How are you? Oh my gosh. So, you guys, we're going to keep this hour at 6 o'clock from now on, for now, because I just think it's easier on the East Coast folks and it works for us here. It's dark as all get out and early on and, cold, crazy, huh? But it's good. Winter's coming. Yeah, winter is coming. Funny. All right, you guys, that's it for story and art. So, Sunday, we will be back with story and art. So, if you have anything that you've been working on, whether it's complete or not, it doesn't have to be current. It may be something you did a while back, something that you think is pretty fun. Maybe it's holiday oriented. Send it to me at my email, imagesbygretchen@icloud.com. You'll see the thing at the closing. Send it to me, and if you can put live art in the subject line, that helps me locate it. And then we'll have show and tell, and we'll have stories on Sunday. And Sunday stories are going to be pretty lighthearted. There's a couple cute friendship stories and lighthearted kind of funny. I have one, Paula's Patchwork, I think it's called, and the other one is something or other. I can't remember. Huh. Well, but yay. Yes. So we'll have that. So we'll see what we've got in the way of art. Maybe you've done something special for Christmas. Maybe you have an idea that you can share with Christmas decorations or stuff like that. Who knows? Or maybe you're just doing little doodles and like I did my gift tags and stuff. So let's see those, and we'll have stories, and that will be on Sunday, and I will be back in fine fettle by then and maybe have recovered from the whole trip. But yeah. Oh, and Keisha, Monday, I think Tuesday, Keisha got this. My meet too is coming, Keisha. Woohoo! Yeah, I'll tell you about it. Anyway, you guys, I want to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you for filling my bucket. And I hope this story, it started out with some sadness with things, but I think the uplifting part of it is the resilience and the belief that he had in his culture and in what he wanted to do and how he could meld that, his culture and his country, and come together in a way and do such an amazing job. Plus, he was an artist. Ha! How good is that? All right, you guys, that's it for tonight. So, until next time, everyone, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you're going to find it is when you go look in your own mirror. And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wild.
your time. I do too.
Like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try. Not average or typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't
Tamara,
need
you and I are in the same boat. I've been dizzy for a week.
I just need you by my side. We could be
My hair's not even blonde anymore, so I can't do the dizzy blonde thing my mom used to say.
with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh,
Sorry. It's my mom's joke. Totally inappropriate, but that's what she did.
we could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We
Oh,
could be famous.
cracked. Chair dance time. Hey, there's Larry. I didn't see you here, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Cool. With a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh. Gorgeous. Wow.
Did you see the new color for Pantone this year for 2025 was called Mocha Mousse? And my friend that was on the team that helped to choose the Pantone color said that it was very grounding and centering, calming. It's nice. All right, you guys. See you Sunday.